Morning and welcome to another video by Russia UK, the channel that gets under the skin of Uber. Right, I want to ask you a question, and if you can, please answer this honestly as you can. What is your per mile worth? Okay, I'll let you think about it. How much are you worth per mile? Now, firstly, you have to, you have invested a lot of money into this industry, into this trade, and there's a lot of cost. The highest probably is your vehicle, and there's other costs which you can't really measure. The time is one of them. You invest a lot of time in this, and not forgetting there's a value to your health, which is just priceless, really. And also added on for you guys next year, the Vatman is after you as well. So there's a lot of things that's happening. Now, firstly, we need to understand that this trade has, it's evolved rapidly over the last 10 years. The whole industry has been taken over by billion-dollar companies. It's marketed by industry's top advertisers, and which, frankly, has lured all us drivers and passengers alike. Now, also, particularly over the last year, these shareholders are looking for profit, and what the likes of Uber have done is tighten up the drivers' earning. And I've been getting messages from drivers asking me, look, how do I work? How do I pick jobs? And this video is basically dedicated to that. How do you pick a profitable job? So let's first go back to the question I asked. What is your value per mile? Right? And let's be honest, the value you have in your head isn't what Uber will pay you. And also, it's not what these mavericks at ADC Union is telling you, that it should be £2.50 a mile. You simply are not going to get it, guys. Let's face it. If you look at Uber's rate card on the way bills, some prices are set as 70p a mile. So, what should it be? Well, for that answer, really, we should turn to local bases. Most of them are set between £1.40 and £2 per mile. So, if I say you'll be happy with £1.50 a mile, I think that'll be okay for now. Later on, I'll show you how you can actually alter that to whatever you want. For now, let's just say you're happy with £1.50 a mile. And for this illustration, now let's minus the commission. I think most of us are happy with 20% as a commission. So that brings it down to, £1.20 a mile. That is what, we're going to target here. So, I still think £1.20 is too less. So we're going to bump it up to £1.25 as our minimum price target. So if you look at this screenshot here, okay, now you could write this down. You could copy this, write it down, whatever you want to do. And if you write it down, just place it next to your screen there. Can you see that? Next to your app. And basically, that's just zoom in there. So it'll tell you what the prices are. Okay? Right. And that's basically, you're putting it there so you can make your mind up quickly, instantly, if the job is worth what you're worth doing. Now, on the left-hand side, you can see the numbers 1 to 0. Now, these are your mileage. Now, I left... I haven't written mileage and price and everything deliberately because you don't want your riders to know what the hell this card is doing there. They could figure it out. So that's been taken out to disguise it, really. Right. Now, on the right-hand side is your value, as I said here. So if you get a £6 job, you look across and it has to be over £9 to accept it. Can you see that? £9 to accept it. That's your minimum value for you to accept it. Now, if it's not, look, you just let it go because you are not willing to make a loss on this job. Now, I hear you say, what about if the mileage was 6.9? Do I still do the job? And the answer is, yeah, look, you do. You still do the job. It might not be that profitable, but with the law of averages, it says that you will get a job at 6.1 and you will accept it only when it's priced at £9 or over. So you'll average yourself out. Don't worry about the decimal points. That's the reason I left all this. It needs to be clear and quick, right? And that's it. Now, as I said, it's important to remember that this is your minimum price. If you get a job that's paying you 6 miles, for instance, and it's paying you £12, well, look, that's a bonus. We're not going to argue with that. What this chart does, it filters out unprofitable jobs. Now I hear you say, how did it work out these mileages here? Well, it's quite simple actually. The first 2 miles are based on your base rate, so you're not going to change that. Look, if you get a mile job, just do it for 25. It's profitable. Mile and a half, profitable still. You're still in the same area. Everything is profitable in the first 2 miles. Now, so as I said, this is Birmingham at £4.25. And basically what happens, you just keep adding £1.25 to each additional mileage and you keep carrying that over. And that's how you get these prices here. Now, the thing is, there's only 2 criteria actually for this. And you have to abide by it. And do it, please. Obey the rules. And the first one is you do not run for jobs over 1.5 miles away. Right? You don't. You and I, we have made Uber a beast. It's so big that jobs comes from anywhere and everywhere. So let's reap the reward of that. Let it go. If it's over 1.5 miles, don't even look at the chart. It's not worth you. You got a self-worth here. Okay, and remember, you have created this beast. So anything over 1.5 miles, you don't do it, right? It's simple. That's the first criteria. Second criteria is you do not do jobs over 10 miles. Uber, Bolt make big money out of long jobs. It may, sometimes, you'll pay the rate, but you'll be left stranded in less active areas. So don't take long jobs, especially the ones that take you into lesser active locations. Please don't. Now, you can tailor this to your own requirement, as I was saying earlier. Mine is set as £1.30 because that's what I think I'm worth after, the commission. If you're a 7-seater, look, you have your Excel on. But some jobs on X are far too less for your diesel drinking bus. So you could set it at £1.40, work out £1.40 and just create a chart for that. At least it's moving, unless you're getting an Excel job, waiting for an Excel job. And if you're an executive, set it at minimum of £1.35 a mile while you wait for those lucrative jobs. I promise you, give it a try. And at least you'll feel good about this because you're finally working for what you're worth.